Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. I wanted to kind of put a final say on the whole Tim Black thing. And again, there's no warning, no sparring, no hard feelings, no feelings at all, if I'm being honest. I saw the video. I thought it was overdone. I thought it was a flip out. I thought it was a bit theatrical. If you have to make a video screaming at the top of your lungs that you weren't being tepid, look, people can look at the video for themselves and think about whether what I said applied to that particular video and the way they were handling it. You can also make your opinion on whether or not that's something to flip out over. It's up to you. I've always told my wife that if I'm losing my shit over something like that, stop me from making a video because it just looks bad. It looks ridiculous. It's somewhat petty and childish. But beyond that point, I try to look at from people's perspectives, and I try to give a fair, empathetic viewing of the perspective, meaning what are the pressures applied to somebody to get a person to behave in the way to which they behave. My wife hates this. She finds that this is somewhat deconstructing of sorts, of digging into people's psyche and their psychology to understand why they behave. It's context. It's what I do. I do it on my channel. I do it in real life. It's awarded on my channel. It can be a little difficult in real life. But I try to understand where people are coming from. How else are you going to understand people if you don't necessarily try to get into their heads and understand where they're coming from? I don't know all of the pressures that were applied to Tim Black on this. I don't know why there's such a sensitivity to somebody describing something that took place as tepid. I don't know why that word hits a nerve. But okay, to each his own. If he feels he has a brand to uplift and he feels flipping out over somebody saying that, God bless. Somebody said, and look, all the videos are going to be below, so you can take a look at it yourself and come to how you feel about it. You can watch his original interview with H.A. Goodman. You can see what I said about it, and you can see whether the response was in any way proportional to what I said about it. I have to be honest, I said it kind of just as a side note. I put no thought into this idea of tepid at all. I didn't think anything of it. If somebody said something that I did was tepid in that particular context, I wouldn't care. That was their opinion. Okay, keep it moving. Nobody cared about that statement. It was just him. So, but if you need to flip out over it to kind of throw your gonads around in that sense, do your thing. Somebody said, he said you were up it and above it all. Or he said you were uppity. That's a fair criticism. From a relative perspective, okay, that's fair. I would say it's not necessarily being uppity. I would say it's being above it all. This is also something my wife says and she complains about, or that perspective. Look, from my perspective, nothing matters. Nothing matters. I live my life with this idea that I don't know if anything exists outside of myself. I have to take all that stuff as just a foregone conclusion. The things that we interact with, that we're talking about a corporeal existence, none of this stuff matters. A human consciousness bears its thoughts upon something. It has an opinion. It has feelings. If that consciousness wasn't there, that thing wouldn't absolutely matter. And at some point, all of us are going to blink out of existence. Meaning, ultimately, nothing matters. If there is no consciousness to apply upon something, then you just have forms doing things. There's no value. There's nothing there. There's no reality to it. It's just items functioning within a void of something. The catch is, when you realize that, and yes, it's somewhat of a nihilistic point of view of things, but it is a view that's correct, particularly if you're talking about this kind of corporeal existence. No, I'm not an atheist. I'm not an atheist. But I do take frames of reference in a sense of, yes, we're corporeal beings left. We're living in a physical matter reality. And no, I have no proof that anything exists outside of myself. I have beliefs. I have thoughts. I have things that I've had experiences that kind of push me in a particular way. But ultimately, I'm stuck with the idea that nothing matters. The only thing that matters at that point is the value that I myself give something, or any particular intellect gives. That's what we're left with. That's it. When I was 17, I told you before, I was diagnosed with kidney failure. I remember sitting in a clinic. And you know, you're a kid. and you've just been told this kind of life-changing thing, and you're pissed, you're upset, you're kind of contemplating your mortality in this thing, contemplating your luck, contemplating why are these things happening, why the fuck is this happening, what have I ever did wrong, what did I do wrong to deserve such a thing? You look across from you and there's a woman sitting over there who's blind without a leg, and she's enduring some kind of treatment. And instantly, all of those things that you're thinking in that particular moment kind of comes to this realization of, I don't have it that bad. I don't have it that bad. All of the things that may assail me, all of the things I may come across, yes, it may suck. Yes, it may get on my nerves. But ultimately, I still remember that particular point of, it's not that bad. My mom was driving to the hospital one day in a particularly bad storm. And she's listening to the radio with these people bitching and complaining. And she has this epiphany. My kid is in the hospital. My kid may die. And these people are squabbling about this stupid shit. None of this matters to me because I set the thing on what matters to me. I control my feelings. It's petty. It's ridiculous. Yes, I am above it all. Yes, I look down on this and say, this is minutia. I don't care about minutia. There are things that I myself define that are important. There are things that I myself look around at the world and say, yes, from a cosmic standpoint, none of this stuff absolutely matters. But from my own context, from my own human context, there are things that are going to drill in me, things that bug me. I myself have been in situations of pain, and I myself understand when people are themselves in pain. That matters to me. I don't want people to experience those things. Those are the things I focus on, not minutia. I don't care about minutia. If that makes me above it all, then I'll take it. I'm above it all. Ultimately, I don't care. I did my channel. You must understand, I haven't changed my perspective on this. Any video that you look at, for the most part, I've always taken this perspective of, I don't care about minutia. It doesn't matter to me. I define what matters to me. I don't get involved in these. I don't emotionally invest myself in the stuff that goes on. So yeah, sometimes people will say, dude, you're being so insensitive, or you're laughing at it, because it's comical to me. You're laughing at the void. It's people come up with reasons to have petty dramas, and they decide to bang heads on those dramas. Well, nothing matters. People can set whatever they want for themselves to matter. If those are the things to them that matter, if those are the things to them that drill in them, then they themselves set that particular thing as something that drills in them. God bless. I don't exist there. I exist at this level of, I want society to be different. That's my default. I exist at a basic level of, none of this shit matters. I don't care. None of it matters. And yes, that's not necessarily the easiest way to function in life. And yes, when you're dealing with your wife and everything else, you do have to kind of push this idea to some degree that, yes, I can love my wife. So yes, that matters to me. With this thing in the back of your head that, yes, it only matters to me though. If that makes sense. I'm trying to just get across this point of, people can feel how they want to feel about all sorts of things. What they come up with, what they define as matters, the things that they invest their energy into, what they flip out about, what they set as their agenda. They make the determination what matters to them. This is not something that matters to me. My videos deal with larger issues. I may step into the minutiae every so often because it's the sandbox. I have no emotion vested in it. If you notice, it's always done in somewhat of a comical way, because ultimately my default is to not care. My default is usually to not care and to be apathetic, because the secret is nothing matters. I define what matters to me. The things that I bring up in my channel, when I'm emotionally invested in something, to me, those are the things that matters. I am perfectly okay with flipping out when I think somebody is being injured, hurt, killed, murdered. If I think we're doing nasty things abroad, if I think we're doing nasty things here in this country, if I think there's unfairness afoot, those are the things that matter to me. Those are the things I invest my time into. If that makes me uppity, I'll take it. If that makes me above it all, fair enough. Good. That was the objective. I'll leave it at that. There's no hard feelings because there's no feelings at all in the first place. If that makes sense. I always say I looked at him as somewhat of an uncle, not necessarily because there was paternal feelings there, but that's what he put me in mind of. Like he just came across that way. So that's pretty much it. That's the series. That's the arc of events. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. And again, no hard feelings. Nothing was met poorly. I said everything I wanted to say in that sense of the video. I just wanted to make a video explaining why I see things in this way, or why I have this particular perspective that none of this matters. Why I don't necessarily invest my attention into it. I invest my attention in as much as just keeping my ear to the ground in a particular sandbox. When I advise people that people are getting heat on stuff, and I may say, look, dude, this shit doesn't matter. Just do you. Do you. Do your content. You're going to get people who disagree with you. All sorts of perspectives. Ultimately, you can't necessarily do your show from the people who disagree with you. You hold your shape. Your audience will be with you. Your audience will understand the people who disagree with you. Either they're bright enough to know that they're disagreeing with you on this particular thing, and it's not necessarily an absolute. If they feel that it's an absolute and if they need to leave for it, then let them leave. They weren't going to hold you anyway. You always have to be you. The heat doesn't matter. The people outside of yourself, you have no proof that those people exist. And if those people want to get pissy and everything else, let them get pissy and everything else. Give them your Twitter account. Give them your email account. God bless. To me, they aren't real. Yes, I know there's somebody out there that's real per se. And yes, at some point you may encounter them. Again, there's no reason to care. They're doing their thing. You do your thing. That's the way I feel about my channel. That's the way my channel has always been. That's the way my channel will always be. So, in regards to conflict with other channels, I have no need to have conflict with any other channels. Nor would I get into this kind of, back and forth thing that channels have where they're going after each other. I find it to be minutia. What do you want to accomplish? What matters to you? What's important to you? What are the things that really drive down into you? Those things are important, specific to you. How do you get that to be important to somebody else? And what is the message? What is the level of debate that you yourself are willing to have? And what is the level of debate that you're willing to invest yourself into? I have no need, nor want, nor will invest myself in minutia. People can feel how they feel about it, of course. It's their feelings. They own their feelings. They're in control of their feelings. Not me. I would do my channel the way I would do my channel. So yeah, I just want to give a little bit more context on that. I'm not going to go into any kind of deconstruction on Tim's reasons and motives and everything else. Look, I assume that functioning in the ways... Oh, okay, yes, maybe a little bit. I assume that if you're functioning that way, you're functioning on the level of based on scarcity. If you're functioning based on scarcity, particularly if you're doing something like YouTube for a living, your views, the people who are watching you, the image that you craft, I would imagine is immensely important to you. It matters to you. You care about it. So you can become somewhat a little hypersensitive in those regards. Hypersensitive in regards to how people see you and view you. And you hear somebody that says something, very tepidly says something about you. You become hyperreactive. You feel that that's in some way attacking your scarcity. You're attacking my well-being. Because somebody may hear you and somebody may actually believe what you said about me being somewhat tepid in this particular conversation. That's the best I got. I have no other reason. I have nothing else in regards to coming to some conclusion why somebody would flip out over something like that. That's it. I looked at it as an issue of scarcity. My image is important to me. I craft my image based upon my things. How dare you not know who I am? That's what I took it. People were attacking him and everything else, and he took it personally. So, again, teach his own. Teach his own. All right, I'll leave it at that. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the content, feel free to share, subscribe. You can always support the work through PayPal or Patreon. Thank you.